You don't save freedom by denying it, by rejecting it, by using force. Unless you're ready for a revolution. You want to I've said this before on the platform with Okan, you want to go start a revolution and break into the armories and get guns and really fight it? Let's talk, right? I'm not advocating for that, but let's call it what it is. But you don't, you know, when George Bush said in 2008, I'm doing all these anti-capitalist things to save capitalism. Did any of us believe it? No. I'm going to break up, I'm going to deny Google and Microsoft and all these companies their rights in order to save capitalism and save free speech. Is that possible? Is that even conceivably possible? Because the left plays dirty, because the left is willing to use the power of government in order to defend the idea that government shouldn't use force. We can't use the government's force. You don't use the government's force in order to deny it force. It's a complete contradiction. You don't save capitalism by rejecting capitalism. You don't save freedom by rejecting freedom. You don't save free speech by rejecting free speech. We believe in freedom, and this is the point I made to Dave before. This is where the rubber hits the road. If we don't defend freedom now, when are we going to do it? If we don't stand up for free speech in the face of the challenge we've got right now, when are we going to do it? It's now that it's, everything's at stake, everything.
And that is not a sacrifice for principle, right?
It's not a sacrifice of principle.
We have a principle and we're willing to die for it. We can't live without it.
And it's if you look at some people on the right, and I've mentioned this First Things article, and I'll mention it again, the conservatives from First Things who are saying now, we need to violate the principles of free markets in order to save us from the left. We need to violate the culture's not moral enough, so we need to impose moral authoritarianism in order to save us from the left's cultural nihilism. We need to violate the principles of freedom to make us what? To make us authoritarian. That's what ultimately this all leads to. You do not achieve freedom by force, unless, again, it's really by force, unless it's revolution. And then, okay, then the gloves are off and let's go do it. I have a little bit of training, so I can help you guys out.
Yeah, boy, short sleeve Yaron Brook is ready for a revolution, people.
Go for it.